Queen Victoria Market is a highly successful Melbourne attraction with huge visitor numbers and a strong following of regular customers. However, a decline in sales for vendors and a string of concerns about the functionality of the site have brought QVM's future into consideration. We began by looking at the context of QVM. We found the site to be highly accessible by public transport or car. However, we found difficulty accessing the site as a pedestrian. QVM is highly disconnected on Peel Street to the west, Victoria Street to the north, and Lower Queen Street to the south. A severe lack of pedestrian crossings in these areas creates dead zones and leaves QVM disconnected from surrounding urban fabric. When we measured foot traffic at different entry points around the site, we found that far more people access QVM from the eastern side of the CBD through Terry Street and the Meat Hall, rather than Peel Street and the car park to the west. Looking at the site and movement across the site, we found that Queen Street acts as a barrier to pedestrian access between the upper and lower market. During Saturday, we measured surprisingly low activity on Queen Street, while activity was high in the deli hall and upper and lower fruit and veg. We began to focus our attention on Queen Street as a central issue on the QVM site. We recorded high levels of conflict between pedestrians and vehicles at the Terry and Queen intersection. Furthermore, we found that Queen Street and the surroundings felt unsafe outside of market hours due to a lack of activity and surveillance. As the central axis of the market, Queen Street was identified as a key opportunity to connect the market and the wider urban fabric of the inner north, whilst also activating the site for a greater number of hours during the day. During a typical market day, Queen Street is a 25-metre wide bitumen road, with vehicle access, parking, limited shading, and a lack of places to sit down. This creates a highly unfriendly pedestrian space, which visitors must cross to access the upper market. This physical and psychological barrier creates a disconnect on the site, and further isolates the already less accessible upper market. Queen Street, however, is not always an unsightly barrier. On select days, Queen Street is closed to access to motor vehicles, and stalls and a stage are set up on the northern end of the street. The change in activity from a typical weekday is instantly noticeable, and the connection between the lower and upper markets, as well as along its length, is visibly improved. An example of this was the Turkish Festival, with a central row of tents drawing users to meander at the site from there connect to other areas of QVM. The highly popular night market additionally takes advantage of Queen Street, acting as a forecourt to the events taking place in the upper market and creating a highly successful open-air plaza. As a precedent, we looked at Hardware Lane, just south of the market. We found that the laneway typology uses space highly efficiently, with seating, pathways, and restaurant entrances contributing to a vibrant fine grain. We observed that the edge effect also encouraged safety and comfort on either side of the lane. We noticed strong parallels between the laneway form and those forms present on the market. Specifically the deli hall and market shed areas. We discovered that all three areas shared a pedestrian focus and an intimate atmosphere. When we looked specifically at form typologies, we began to see that the laneway typology combines the best aspects of the deli hall and the market shed. The laneway is narrow and atmospheric, just like the deli hall, whilst also being permeable like the market stalls of the market shed. Unlike the market forms, however, the laneway is open and highly integrated into the surrounding urban fabric.
Our goals for our framework is foremost focused on connectivity. Queen Victoria Market faces issues with connectivity within the site itself and also with its surrounding area. QVM is a highly temporal space, and we aim to provide a permanent intervention that will turn the space into a vibrant 24-hour hub within the City North region. QVM cannot exist as an island, especially in a future with enormous residential growth and within a growing competitive trading environment. We propose to close Queen Street to vehicles from Victoria to Franklin Street, turning this currently highly unutilised space into a central spine for the market. The spine will support the existing functions of the markets, integrate the future development of the open space to the south, and provide a key north-south access through the site. We believe that the spine will act as a pull factor, drawing users along its access from the south and to the north, while also improving connectivity between the upper and lower markets. Drawing from our laneway precedent, we aim to create a central permeable laneway form. This spine will consist of a high mix of cafes, bars, vendors, and a strong emphasis on seating and lighting. 24 activity will ensure that the site remains a safe and vibrant destination at all times.